In the heart of the sun-kissed lands of Nola, where the silhouettes of the rolling hills kissed the horizon, stood a small city named Adum. This was not just any city, it was a vibrant tapestry woven with the colors of life, culture, and aspiration. Here, the aroma of jollof rice wafted through the streets, mixed with the laughter of children playing near the banks of the shimmering river that wound through the city like a guardian. Among its many inhabitants was a young man named Chima. He was a dreamer, a thinker, and above all, an artist. Chima had a fire in his heart, an insatiable desire to rise from the humble beginnings of his village life and carve his name into the annals of greatness. But the path to wealth and recognition was shrouded in mystery, obscured by the trials of life. Chima lived with his grandmother, the venerable Mama Nuru, a woman as wise as the ancient oaks that lined the river banks. Her stories were treasures, each holding lessons that resonated like the chants of the village griots. With her silver hair cascading like a waterfall, she would sit by the evening fire, recounting tales of ancestors who walked the earth in harmony with the spirits. Chima, she would say, her voice a soothing melody, wealth is more than gold and silver. It is to understand the pulse of life. It is to embrace the journey with an open heart. One fateful evening, under a canopy of stars that sparkled like diamonds scattered across a dark velvet cloth, Mama Nuru noticed the apprehension in her grandson's wide, searching eyes. "What troubles your heart, my child?" she inquired gently. "Grandmother, I wish to become rich, to create a change in our village, to lift others from hardship. But I am lost. I am just a poor artisan, trying to carve beauty from this unyielding wood," replied Chima, his voice trembling with the weight of his dreams. Mama Nuru leaned closer, her gaze piercing the very soul of Chima. "Then let me teach you the 7 golden principles of wealth. They will be your compass in the unknown seas of life." Chima listened intently, eager to pen every word in the scrolls of his mind. If this is your first time here, please show your support by subscribing to the channel, like the video and turn on the notification. Listen to the end for the last and most important principle, it will change your life. Let's dive back into the story. The first principle, as Mama Nuru explained, was understanding value. "Chima," she began, "true wealth is not found in possessions, but in grasping what is truly valuable. Look beyond the surface." In the days that followed, Chima applied Mama Nuru's teachings diligently. He wandered the marketplace daily, observing the other artisans. One afternoon, he came upon an old woman selling intricately woven baskets. They were vibrant and colorful, but her prices were low. Curious, Chima approached her. "Why do you price your work so modestly?" he asked, his brow furrowed in contemplation. The old woman smiled, crinkled eyes sparkling with wisdom. "Young man, you must understand that each basket tells a story, the colors represent the joy of the harvest, the weave carries the whispers of the wind. My art holds more than material worth, it holds the essence of my people." Chima left the store with a newfound understanding. He returned home that day, his heart swelling as he crafted his pieces with a deeper appreciation for the stories they could tell. As the weeks unfolded, Chima sought to grasp the second principle, wise investment. He learned that investment extended beyond coins, it lay in nurturing connections and skills. He decided to invest in himself, dedicating hours to perfecting his craft. While shaping clay with his deft hands, he remembered a lesson from Mama Nuru, who once said, "Invest in relationships, for they are the seeds of opportunity." With this wisdom, he began spending time with local artists. Chima observed them and learned different techniques that bridged various styles and cultures. One day, he visited an elder named Ose, renowned for his sculptures carved from the heart of ebony wood. There, Chima received invaluable guidance as Ose shared the sacred stories behind each tool and carving. Chima spent days learning, and soon he found a creative spark igniting within him, one of collaboration and unity. Armed with growing skills and knowledge, Chima embarked on the next crucial principle, building relationships. He reached out to fellow artisans, proposing collaborative projects, believing that together they could create something bigger than themselves. With a humble heart, he organized a joint workshop where artisans would showcase their crafts, discussing their individual styles and techniques. Days turned into vibrant evenings filled with laughter, shared secrets, and deep bonds. As they embraced their common struggles, a sense of kinship fostered dreams of greater heights. However, trouble brewed on the horizon. A rival artisan, Okoni, caught wind of their collaborations. Jealous of Chima's newfound popularity, he began to sow discord among the artisans, spreading whispers of doubt, claiming that Chima sought to overshadow their talents. During one of the gatherings, Okoni challenged Chima's authority, his voice dripping with venom. "Your success is built on borrowed feathers. You cannot define true artistry." Chima was taken aback, but he remembered his grandmother's voice. Rather than retaliate with anger, he called for peace. "Let us show our true worth together, for art unites, rather than divides," he retorted, his voice steady yet inviting. The crowd rallied behind him, rejecting Okoni's divisive tactics. The gathering of artisans flourished, yet challenges persisted. As Chima poured his energy into perfecting his craft, he faced repeated failures. One day, a piece he had labored over for weeks shattered just before an exhibition. The spirit of despair threatened to consume him, but Mama Nuru's words echoed like a lifeline: "Persistence is the bridge between the dream and reality." Determined, Chima picked up the shards and reformed them into a mosaic, transforming failure into art. He showcased the piece, Broken Beauty, at a local gathering. The response was overwhelming, and audiences marveled at how he had turned failure into something beautiful. "You see," he told the others, "failure does not signify defeat. It means we are learning, growing, and evolving." The crowd erupted in applause, and for the first time, Chima felt the warmth of recognition wrapped around him like a comforting embrace. Despite his persistence, setbacks continued to loom large. Struggling to balance his commitments, Chima launched several projects that failed to gain traction. Each time he faced disappointment, the shadows of hopelessness crept closer. One rainy evening, he sought solace in his grandmother's wise counsel. As they sat together by the flickering firelight, Chima poured out his heart. "Grandmother, perhaps I am not meant for greatness. Time and again, I have tried to soar but have only fallen to earth." Mama Nuru, flickering candlelight dancing in her eyes, replied, "Every failure holds a lesson, my dear. It is the moment we choose to learn that defines our success." With renewed resolve, Chima penned down his failures and dissected them into lessons. He discovered patterns of misjudgment, missed opportunities, and the necessity of seeking feedback. He began to view every setback as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block, each failure turning into a story waiting to be told. Harnessing the lessons learned, Chima embraced the sixth principle: saving and reinvesting. With every sale, he set aside a portion, understanding that wealth was not merely in possessions but in the seeds planted for future growth. Taking on odd jobs to supplement his income, he saved diligently. He became a testament to frugality, often seen preparing meals with leftovers or sharing resources with fellow artisans. His workshop became a hub for collective ideas and pooled contributions, where artisans would barter goods and services. In the evergreen shadows of the baobab, Mama Nuru shared a profound insight: the more you save, the more you have to give. Inspired, Chima decided to invest part of his savings into local initiatives, supporting single mothers in his village and providing them with skills to empower themselves. His actions began to nurture a community grounded in kindness and collaboration. With his bank balance rising, Chima conceptualized the final and perhaps most important principle: giving back. He envisioned a mentorship program for aspiring artisans, a place where knowledge flowed freely and creativity thrived. He sought to create an apprenticeship center, a sanctuary that would pass on the traditions of his people. In a community gathering, Chima unveiled his dream. I wish to build a center where our children can learn, grow, and become the next generation of skilled artisans. Let us weave a future that holds tight to our roots while reaching for the stars. The villagers resonated with his vision, offering their support. Donations flowed in, some gave time, others provided resources. The rivers of unity swelled, and over the following months, they transformed a dilapidated structure at the center of the village into a vibrant apprenticeship hub. As the center opened its doors, students poured in, their faces alive with wonder and eagerness. Chima felt a profound sense of fulfillment. His dreams were materializing before him, interlaced with the hopes of each child that crossed the threshold. Word of Chima's venture spread, igniting interest from artisans far beyond Adum. As anticipation built, he decided to host an exhibition featuring not only his work but the creations of those who had learned under his guidance. Months went by as artisans toiled, crafting pieces that expressed their identities. As the date approached, nerves intertwined with excitement. Chima had poured every ounce of passion into his latest masterpiece, Circle of Life, a stunning sculpture that depicted the unity and diversity of their community. On the day of the exhibition, the sun ascended, casting golden rays upon the village. Vendors set up stalls, a festival atmosphere filling the air. Onlookers flocked to the pavilion, and as the doors opened, gasps filled the space as vibrant colors and intricate designs greeted them. Chima stood present, his heart racing as various guests, including dignitaries from distant cities, mingled amongst the intricate artworks. A journalist from the capital approached him, captivated by the stories etched into each piece. "Your work speaks volumes, Chima. How did you come to create such beauty from simplicity?" she inquired. Chima shared his journey, recounting each principle, each struggle, and the power of community, as eyes glistened with respect and admiration. He felt his heart swell as attendees marveled at his sculptures, each piece telling stories of love, sorrow, and hope. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the moment arrived. Circle of Life was sold for $1,000, a landmark victory symbolizing not just material wealth, but recognition of his journey. Cheers erupted, and joy rippled through the crowd as his fellow artisans celebrated his success. With the wind of fortune behind him, Chima's life transformed, yet he remained anchored, forever tied to the lessons imparted by Mama Nuru. His success was not merely in the money, it was in the connections he had forged and the lives he had touched. Embracing his wealth, Chima expanded the apprenticeship center, turning it into a beacon of learning. Workshops conducted by skilled artisans enabled the younger generation to hone their crafts. The spirit of Adum thrived, and through the heart of Chima, the village blossomed. Okoni, the rival artisan, approached Chima one day, humbled by his journey. "I once doubted you. Forgive me, for I now see the greatness you have built. You have united our village in a way I could never imagine." Chima extended a hand. "There is strength in unity. Join us, and let's weave our stories together." The gesture marked a turning point. Okoni accepted the offer, and together they forged a partnership that blurred the lines of rivalry. In their shared pursuit, they unearthed hidden talents, reviving ancestral techniques lost to time. Years later, as the apprenticeship center flourished, a sudden drought struck Adum. Crops withered under the scorching sun, and the villagers faced desperate times. Fear gripped the hearts of many, uncertainty lurking in every shadow. Chima refused to let despair dim the light they had built. Gathering the artisans, he proposed an emergency plan. "We shall create a festival of art and culture to raise funds for our people. We are not just individuals, we are a community." During the festival, artisans showcased their work while local musicians played joyful melodies, celebrating resilience through art. The proceeds and donations flooded in, rekindling hope and solidarity among villagers facing tumultuous times. Just as they celebrated the festival's success, whispers of impending conflict arose. A powerful landowner sought to claim the lands around Adum, craving the fertile fields that had nurtured their families for generations. Faced with adversity, Chima spearheaded a movement, rising as a beacon of leadership against exploitation. He rallied villagers to unite in defense of their home. They organized conversations, discussing strategies to negotiate with the landowner, armed with the strength of community. But the path proved treacherous. Accusations flew, tensions escalated, and on the day of negotiations, fear consumed Chima. Would the lessons he had learned be enough to shield them from the storm? With his heart pounding, he approached the landowner, who loomed over them like a dark cloud. "We have not come to battle, but to voice our truth," he proclaimed. "We cherish this land, not just for its bounty, but for the memories it holds. We are the lifeblood that keeps it thriving." Standing in front of an intimidating figure wielding power, Chima's voice trembled, yet he held firm. With words dipped in passion, he recounted the story of Adum, the struggles they faced together, and the bonds that formed through adversity. Moved by the spirit of unity, the landowner reconsidered. With heartfelt negotiations, an agreement was forged: the land would not be stripped from the community, instead, it would be managed together, ensuring prosperity and sustainability for generations to come. Years flowed like the gentle current of the river as Chima's legacy solidified within the heart of Adum. Many artisans flourished through their craft, breathing life into stories that echoed among generations. The apprenticeship center became a sanctuary of learning and connection. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon in a spectacular display of orange and crimson, Chima stood beneath the baobab, now old and wise, much like Mama Nuru, who had passed years before. He found peace in recollecting her teachings, in every experience that shaped his journey. The apprentices gathered to honor him, transformed by the wisdom they had learned. "You are our beacon, Chima," one young girl said, her eyes bright with admiration. "You showed us that wealth is more than gold, it is the richness of our relationships and the lessons we share." "I stand before you, not as a master," Chima replied, his heart swelling, "but as a steward of our culture, of our unity. Together, we carry the torch." In that moment, surrounded by love and respect, he understood that true wealth was not counted in coins but measured by the lives touched, by the community built, and by the dreams woven into reality. Many moons passed, and the tale of Chima echoed across the lands, shared around firesides by storytellers who infused laughter and lessons into their verses. His journey intertwined with the essence of Adum, a living story that would be passed down through generations. In the heart of the city, the legacy continued, driven by the 7 golden principles of wealth, inspiring budding artisans to chase their dreams with open hearts while reminding them that wealth begins with the journey we take. As the sun rose over Adum, so too did the stories of Chima, forever etched in the annals of those who dared to dream and give back, ensuring their light would guide the path for others. And so, in every craft, every musical note, and every shared meal, the spirit of Chima lived on, a beautiful testament to the richness of community, passion, and the timeless quest for wealth defined not by material possession, but by love, unity, and inspiration. Thank you for staying till the end. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, subscribe and turn on the notification for more interesting and captivating story.